Hello, everybody. Namaskar. I'm Dr. Mukesh Parik, and I welcome. This is the first lecture in the series of how to read a novel. This series I am making so that my students can get marks in net, and those who are not preparing for competitive exams, they should also get good marks. Suppose those who are preparing for bachelor's, or those who are preparing for other entrance exams in the post graduation examinations conducted by the different universities for all over India. And so let us directly talk about, like, these days I have seen a trend that students mostly don't read novels. But if we talk about something which is in the course, which has been canonized, any novel which is in the course is called a canonized novel. It means it has been made into a canon. So in this small video of for 10 minutes, because as I have told you that I have planned a series, so I'll be talking in four different videos of 10 minutes each, or say more than 10 minutes sometimes. And I'll be talking about different kinds of strategies one can adopt to understand how to read a novel. First of all, let us talk about what is a novel. As you all know that the word novel has come from the word novel means new, and it means the form, the shape of novel which we have today. It came into being just 3 or 4 centuries ago. Before that, novels in prose did not exist, because either dramas were there, or longer poems were there, epics were there, but as such prose novels were not there. So, and as we are the students of English literature, so we should be aware about this fact that English novel has a very recent history. Robinson Crusoe is considered to be the first novel. Sometimes, different critics say that Gulliver's Travels is the first novel. But as you all know that the novels are not in the shape the novel we have today. So with this information, that what is a novel? Novel is a prose work which is divided into chapters, and which has a narrator sometimes, and sometimes there are two or three narrators. Then there is a point of view in the novel, and a story is told. Now then, there is a great difference between story and novel also, because when we students of literature talk about story, then E.M. Forster has very clearly distinguished between what is a story and what is a novel. It is said that, let me give you a very famous example. E.M. Forster, the famous novelist, he has written a book, aspects of the novel, in which he has given us a very short and sweet definition, that suppose there is a king, and there was a king, there was a queen. The king died, and then the king died and the queen died, and the story ended. It means in this he calls a story. It means there we are not giving any cause, like how and why queen died. But then he says that there was a king, there was a queen, the king died, and then the queen died of grief. It means here we are talking about cause. It means a very simple and sweet definition between a story and a plot of a novel. So a novel is not only a big story. A novel is a kind of, you can say there are episodic plots in that. It means episodic stories are there. It means there can be 6 or 7 parallel stories can be there, and then all the different characters from the different stories can merge, and can help us in understanding the more complicated issue. So this is the basic difference between that. A novel has a plot. I don't say that a story does not have a plot, because we are living in an era where story is also considered to be a genre, which is very famous. But let me restrain myself to the lecture, for which I have already promised to you. So by considering that a novel is a long story in which we have causes, and let us talk about, because I'll restrict myself for 10 minutes in this video, then you will wait for 1 minute. I will start the next stream, and this way I'll be making 4 streams today. Okay. So let me talk about some plot devices, like how we should read a novel. Suppose you have purchased a novel, and then you have a problem like how to read it. And suppose that novel is in your syllabus, and you are planning, like, without attending any lecture in the college or say university, how to approach a novel. First of all, we should be aware about the different devices a writer uses in a novel. So in this video I will be talking about devices, and keep watching the whole video so that you can understand, and you will be helped for 2 or 3 questions for net. I promise that. First uh, plot device is red herring. Red herring is a term in English. It is an idiom, and it is a kind of fake out of a plot, in which something which looks something which is very important in the plot, something very crucial, and all the characters are following that. But at the end of the novel we come to know that it does not become that much important. So that device is also used by certain writers, and the most important writer which comes to my mind right now who has used red herring is Agatha Christie. Agatha Christie, you must be aware about. She has written detective novels. Okay, we also call it a kind of whodunit mystery. Whodunit is a word in English, and a mystery mean to say right from the beginning the writer starts creating our or exciting our curiosity for the thing, but at the end of the novel that curiosity seems to be nothing. So that is one kind of plot devices used by a narrator or a novelist. Second one is plot voucher. That plot voucher is it is the opposite of red herring. It refers to a character or object that is introduced early in the story but does not become critical later on. For example, you must have heard about one term by Anton Chekhov. It is called Chekhov's gun. Chekhov's gun is actually used in drama, but as per novel is concerned, we can also use the concept of Chekhov's gun to understand the plot device. Chekhov's gun means, the writer says that suppose you don't want to use your narrative, use a particular object which you have seen, which you have shown in the very beginning of the plot. Suppose that object does not have anything with the character, anything with the plot, anything with the story, anything with the theme, anything with the imagery, then there is no need to show that. It means suppose you show something and then that particular thing has no connection with the story, then we call it like it is a plot voucher. And then I have given you two plot devices so far, and one term, Chekhov's gun. Third is we call MacGuffin. MacGuffin. MacGuffin is a term used by everybody is aware about Alfred Hitchcock's movies. In that, what he does, that we also call it a kind of a plot coupon. Coupon means coupon. The common people pronounce this word coupon, but it is called plot coupon, in which a character pursues an object that is ultimately insignificant. So somewhere red herring, plot voucher, and MacGuffin are one and the same thing, but these are very much used by the writers. Fourth one is the love triangle, that you must have seen in all the common novels, where in movies also. So the love triangle is actually where suppose two girls are there, one boy is there, or two boys are there, one girl is there, and the writer creates a kind of curiosity that ultimately who will choose whom. And then there is a fifth number of plot device used by most of the writers in the long novels, and that is called quest. Quest, like suppose you must have heard about I'm taking Ramayana also, though it's an epic, or say Odyssey also in this category, where you have seen there is a quest, that throughout the novel or throughout that great book, there is always the major characters are searching for something. And then the sixth plot device is cliffhanger. Cliffhanger is by not resolving an ending, and the readers are kept yearning. The writer starts talking about something, start showing something, but episode after episode after episode, we see that the story does not end, or the novel does not come to an end. It we call cliffhanger novels. Then we call the seventh plot device is Deus ex machina. Deus ex machina. In other videos also I have used this term. It means somehow there is some intervention by the divine will or the writer in the modern age also. He uses something, in which all the threads of the story, they get connected at the end of the novel, and the main thing, which was torturing the readers, is solved at the end. So for example, Euripides dramas, and the most important writer in modern era is Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens, in almost all his novels, for example, let us say the parentage of Oliver Twist in Charles Dickens novels, we see that at the end of the novel, we know about everything, for which we were struggling to know in the whole detail of the novels. So this is my first video in which I have talked about the 7 plot devices along with the definition of novel, that what a definition is. And now wait for my next video in which I will be talking about almost every book has been asked in exam, and these books are important to understand a novel. So till then, namaskar. Wait for 1 minute, I'll be back.